So Swedish Midsummer is going to be happening soon, and I thought I should learn a little bit more about it. I've seen it mentioned on previous videos, seen comedians talk about it and so on, but seen this video, Swedish Midsummer for Dummies. So yeah, when it comes to Swedish Midsummer, I am a dummy, so interested to see this, learn more about it. You can tell me how you're going to be celebrating, what you do for it. Yeah, let's check it out.
A holiday devoted to eating, drinking, dancing and assorted pagan rituals. Swedish Midsummer is second
Sounds
only
fun.
in significance to Christmas. This is a guide to making the most of it. First, buy everything in the starter kit. Remember, here everyone brings their own drinks. Make sure you get to the station.
I mean, that's an interesting, diverse list of different things, especially getting to the end here. It looks like, yeah, like a music festival or something, like going away to like a festival for a weekend. All the relevant things you need. A life jacket, is that? That's quite random as well. So beer in a life jacket, that seems like it could be dangerous. But even the introduction they're talking about it sounds like my sort of celebration,
Make sure
honestly.
you get to the state-owned off license in plenty of time, just in case you're whisked off to an island somewhere. This is downtown Stockholm on Midsummer's Eve.
Wait, so is that normal to get whisked off to an island somewhere? Is that something you've did? Like, what's your memorable experience doing that? I know that Sweden has a lot of islands. So, how would you get to that point where that would happen?
If you can't bear the silence or being on your own, stay away from the city. Midsummer is supposed to be celebrated in the countryside surrounded by birch trees, fields and water. The first thing you have to do is to make your own midsummer garland. Avoid the kitchen at all costs. Some unfortunate soul always gets stuck scrubbing the potatoes. Then it's time for a fabulous lunch of pickled herring and new potatoes spiced with dill and chives. You drink beer and nubbe, Swedish vodka served ice cold in a shot glass.
I've not heard of that. Nube? I don't think I've seen that mentioned, so that's what that Skåne thing is. Is it nice? It looks kind of like a schnapps or something, but Swedish vodka, that sounds cool. But already, like the food, the drink, that sounds perfect to me, man.
The nubbe must be consumed in the time-honored way. Always preceded with the nubbe visa, a short humorous song. We recommend 2 beers per nubbe. This will improve both your singing and your Swedish. No midsummer is complete without a sudden downpour. Fortunately, it usually stops as unexpectedly as it started. After lunch, it's time to raise the maypole, the ancient fertility symbol. Watch carefully and you should be able to work it out. The origins of Swedish Midsummer are unclear. For a millennium, it's been a celebration of summer and a fertility rite. Human sacrifices are a thing of the past, but the revelers of today are just as passionate. Like many Swedish traditions, the why is less important than the how. Now the dancing begins.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Like, it looks quite like you need to be quite active, like different from Christmas, where, for me anyway, usually just sit about the house, eating food, talking with family. This is like a very active activity, and it's like people of all ages as well, the young to the old, all taking part and getting involved. What about for like introverts? Like, the introverts like to do this sort of thing. I can imagine, like, I don't know if I could do all this dancing and stuff like that as well. I don't mind the eating and the drinking, all the dancing and things like this. It's a bit more difficult for me, honestly.
Now the dancing begins. Everyone knows small grudena, the little frogs. Locking your hands on your lower back and jumping like a frog may seem strange, but for at least one day of the year, it makes perfect sense to Swedes. It won't take long to master the dance steps. Swedes can do it in their sleep. And with a bit of practice,
Really?
so will you.
Just frog jumping
The
around a pole.
humiliation by dance is mercifully short-lived, and you can count on your host to console you afterwards with a piece of strawberry cake.
That sounds good, man. Yeah.
Next, it's time to get physical, which means tugs of war, horseshoe tossing, egg and spoon races, boot throwing, or apple bobbing. Since everyone takes part, you don't have to be embarrassed should you make a fool of yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. So if everybody has to do it, then yeah, it's not as embarrassing. But again, like, very, very active. I guess it's good that it's like in the middle of the year, in the summer. apart from the rain. It's like nice to get out there and have this sort of activity where it brings everybody together. I've not really seen anything like this in any other country actually, which is it's quite cool,
One note of
quite
caution,
unique.
keep an eye on Grandma. This sort of thing brings out her ruthless streak. All this strenuous exercise calls for some real food. Time for a barbecue. Since all Swedish men want to show off at the grill, this might be a good time to get to know some Swedish women. Anything can go on the grill. Meat, fish, vegetables or fruit. There's definitely room to experiment here. Once you've eaten, you either have a quiet night, a sauna, a swim, a few drinks, pause for reflection, or you hit the dance floor with new and old friends. Be sure to listen to some dance band music before Midsummer so you know what to expect. It takes a bit of getting used to. If you're lucky, there will be some ABBA too. Generally,
So what is dance band? Is that like some sort of Swedish country music or folk music, something like that? If you know any famous dance band songs, maybe recommend them in the comments. I'll maybe check out some of them. Always like cool to see like not just your normal pop music and stuff. It's like cool to get like a deeper insight into like Swedish culture by learning about some quite to the outsider unknown types of music. So I'd love to know more about that.
speaking, Swedes are somewhat reserved. Tonight is the exception. Midsummer Eve is a night for romance. If you don't find or already have a partner, pick 7 different flowers, put them under your pillow, and according to legend, you will dream of the person you will marry. If you don't, you probably picked the wrong flowers. At midsummer, the sun never completely sets. This is the longest day of the year. From now on, it only gets darker. But there will be a baby boom to brighten up March.
Cool, man. That was awesome. Yeah, again, like it's very unique. I've never seen anything like that. Again, it has all the games and stuff like that, which I do enjoy playing those sort of games. I get quite competitive, maybe too competitive sometimes, so I don't know how that would go. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of like any other country I've been or known that if they had anything like this, and I don't think so. So yeah, when you see everybody doing these games, is that usually like, is it the family, the local community? They say that these things happen more in the countryside, like so. Like, do you travel out there with your family, your friends? How does it actually work? But it seems fun, yeah. Anything that involves like these sort of things with a lot of food and drink, I definitely can get on board with that. So seems cool. Have a good Swedish Midsummer when it comes. Hope you have a fun time. Tell me any like interesting stories that you've experienced from your own Swedish Midsummers in the past. Thanks.